Hi, everybody. I'm going to read you Matthew chapter 24, and this is going to be not a long video. It's going to be quick, and this is from the New Testament, and this is the best book to have ever been written that was brought to us by God, by Jesus, God's Son, God's only Son. This particular Bible says LSM. This is really God's words. It has been interpreted correctly, the New Testament. Prophets came to the earth to have the Old Testament written, and it wasn't enough to save, hell was terrible. Gehenna, they call it. And it wasn't, the Old Testament wasn't enough to save all of humanity. God had to not just send those prophets, he had to send his only Son, Jesus, and it's all in this book, the truth, God's truth. And reading this is understanding what everything is all about, and it's about God and Jesus and kindness to others and yourself, kindness to others and kindness to yourself, even when it's difficult. Forgive them their trespasses against you. That's in a previous chapter of Matthew, or in this New Testament. I believe it's a previous chapter of Matthew, actually. Okay, let's start reading. This is about the second coming of Jesus. It's pretty important to understand what this is really about, because many people have the wrong idea. And when you don't know God's truth, people can get misled. It's good to know, the truth about it. Let's just read and take a look, and you can read and understand all these footnote things, this stuff later, this later. But for now, we're just going to briefly look at this chapter, and I'm going to explain it as I go. Chapter 24 of Matthew, the first book in the Bible, in the New Testament. There's the Old Testament, and some of those chapters in this go together to make the Bible, but this is the really good book. This is the best one. Jesus got written on earth. God got written by Jesus, by people who were qualified to write it. It's good. Okay. Chapter 24. Chapter 24. And I'm a good teacher. We were teachers in my family history, and I'm a good teacher. I happen to be a very good teacher, so you're learning from a good teacher. Chapter 24, the prophecy of the kingdom. This is the kingdom of the heavens. It refers to the kingdom. Concerning Israel. From Christ's ascension to the consummation of the age, his ascension into heaven, to the consummation of the age. That is going to be talked about here. And Jesus came out from the temple and was going away, and his disciples came to him to show him the buildings of the temple. But he answered and said to them, "Do you not see all these things? Truly, I say to you, there shall by no means be left here a stone upon a stone which shall not be thrown down." And as he sat on the Mount of Olives, the disciples came to him privately, saying, "Tell us, when will these things be? And what will be the sign of your coming and the consummation of the age?" And Jesus answered and said to them, "See that no one leads you astray. Lead us not into temptation, as we forgive those who trespass against us, but deliver us from evil. Thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory are yours, God, not a man, but God gets the glory." Okay. And what will be the sign of your coming and the consummation of the age? And we're all sinners. We can't help but to sin. I sin. I'm a man, Jesus does not sin. He never sinned. He didn't sin. He's God's son. God doesn't sin. You'll learn this in the Bible when you understand all of it. Or if you already do understand all of it, well, most of you don't. And this is where I'm trying to help you really see God's truth. I don't understand every bit of it, but I understand a lot, enough to help you. And Jesus answered and said to them, see that no one leads you astray, for many will come in my name, saying, I am the Christ. I am the Christ. And they will lead many astray. They're wrong. They're bad. You can compare them to what this New Testament really says to tell when the Antichrist comes to earth, that it's going to talk about here pretty soon. You can tell he's a bad guy because he does not follow what is taught to us in the Bible, in the New Testament. In the New Testament, this is really important to know. This is going to happen on earth. We don't know when it's going to happen. And you will be hearing of wars and rumors of wars. See that you are not alarmed, for it must happen. It has to happen. It's God's will. It's what God wants. So don't be worried about it. But the end is not yet. You know, you can kind of be worried if you want, because people may try to lead you astray, those evil people and stuff, but it's what God wants. And it's a lot of God's work sometimes, and then we get there to heaven when we're really, really good. Some of them go to hell inside the earth, trapped there for all eternity, suffering. Anyway, I'm not reading. I'm saying that. I'm telling you that right now. Now let's read. Okay. For nation will rise up against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there will be famines and earthquakes in various places. All these things are the beginning of the birth pangs. That's like birth pains. That's like when a baby is born, there's a lot of pain, and it's pretty difficult when the baby comes out, because the baby's going to be there for this, and it's going to be okay. That's going to be the tribulation, I believe, is the pangs, the pangs, and then what it's going to be, the baby is going to be the second coming of Jesus, when he rules on earth and all is good on earth again, when everything will be good and all the evil is going to go away to hell or be destroyed. Then they will deliver you up to tribulation and will kill you, and you will be hated by all the nations because of my name. The good people will be hated by all the nations because of Jesus' name. That's how horrible and difficult it'll be to make it. And we don't know when it's going to happen. It might not happen in our lifetimes. We don't know. Only God knows. Jesus doesn't even know. And at that time, many will be stumbled and will deliver up one another and will hate one another. And many false prophets will arise and will lead many astray. And because lawlessness will be multiplied, this is not the law that we commonly refer to, like police enforce. That's good. Police are good. Police are good men, generally speaking, but they sin. But lawlessness refers to not following the Bible, not following the New Testament. This is the law. This is the real law. And when you follow this, generally speaking, the law is okay, but real lawlessness is following the Bible. There's no but about it. Real lawlessness is not following the Bible. That was a sin. I messed up. Lawlessness here is referred to the actual law. The New Testament is the law. Don't let the devil trick you or try to twist and distort your words with his evil, bad things that try to attack and destroy and make things what they aren't really. This is God's truth. This is the truth. Anyway, I don't want to say bad stuff. And at that time, many will be stumbled and will deliver up one another and will hate one another. And many false prophets will arise and lead many astray. And because lawlessness will be multiplied, the love of the many will grow cold. Oh, that's horrible. It'll be more difficult to love many. But he who has endured to the end, this one shall be saved. And this gospel, this one shall be saved. Let's see what it said down here. Oh, that's another note. Those people will be saved. It describes more. You can read in more detail what this is about in your Bible, in your New Testament. But this, we get the idea. This is it. This is it. You understand here. And you can read more if you want. And this gospel of the kingdom will be preached in the whole inhabited earth for a testimony to all the nations, and then the end will come. At the consummation of the age, the transpiring of the great tribulation. Therefore, when you see the abomination of desolation, which was spoken through Daniel the prophet, that's in the Old Testament, I believe, standing in the holy place, let him who reads understand. Then let those in Judea flee to the mountains. Let him who is on the housetop, could be me, could be you, whoever's on a housetop. I don't know who this is. I may not be a special man. I'm just a man. It could be anyone. On a housetop, not come down to take the things out of his house. And let him who is in the field not turn back to take his garment. But woe to those who are pregnant and to those who are nursing babies in those days. And pray that your flight may not be in winter, nor a Sabbath. Because it's more difficult, your journey, wherever you may travel. For at that time there will be great tribulation, such as has not occurred from the beginning of the world until now, nor shall by any means ever occur. And unless those days it's going to be pretty difficult. Unless those days had been made short, no flesh would be saved. But on account of the chosen, those days will be cut short. The chosen to survive, I believe, and live in heaven for all eternity, and live on earth during the good times, the second coming, when Jesus that's going to be the birth of the baby, when Jesus is here on earth. The great tribulation will last only 3.5 years. Wow, thank God. I believe that's true, but that's this particular interpretation of this, but I thought somewhere it said it was longer, but we get the idea. It's 3.5 years, he really said. I think that's true, almost for sure. It says here, this is the actual words of the Bible. At that time, if anyone says to you, behold, here is the Christ, or here, do not believe it, for false Christs and false prophets will arise and will show great signs and wonders, so as to lead astray, if possible, even the chosen, those who are chosen to live in heaven and on earth, in this beautiful earthly place that Jesus will bring heaven down to here and have it much better than just us living on earth now. It's okay, us living here now, but we have ups and downs. It's not the best. Behold, I have told you beforehand. Therefore, if they say to you, behold, he is in the wilderness, do not go forth. Behold, he is in the inner rooms. Do not believe it. Because that's the Antichrist or some false prophet or a false Jesus. Do not believe it when they say that. He is in the wilderness. Behold, he is in the inner rooms. Do not believe it. Whatever that means. Christ, these are prophecies, apparently, that Jesus let us know about. Christ coming to the earth. For just as the lightning comes forth from the east and shines to the west, so will the coming of the Son of Man be. That's Jesus. So that means something. Lightning comes forth from the east and from the west. The second coming of Christ has two aspects. One is the secret aspect related to his watchful believers. The other is the open aspect related to the unbelieving Jews and Gentiles. The lightning here signifies the open aspect, which will take place after the great tribulation. Okay, tribulation, whereas the thief's coming in the night. Secret signifies the secret aspect, which will occur before the great tribulation. Okay, we get the idea. Coming of the Son of Man. Wherever the corpse is, there will the vultures be gathered together. This means stuff here, taken in context, imply that at the end of this age, Antichrist will be the cause of the great tribulation. Wow, he will cause it. It is he who will need to be judged and destroyed. All people in Adam are dead. Thus the evil Antichrist, who is with his evil armies, will war against the Lord at Armageddon. It is in the eyes of, don't say it is, it doesn't say that, and that was my mistake. Usually the devil tries to lead people astray. Is in the eyes of the Lord a stinking corpse. Not a flaw, not when you mess up reading something wrong. Sometimes God wants you to do it. But I had said something kind of bad, I think, accidentally, and that's when the devil messes you up. Being predatory birds of the eagle kind, the vultures here, being predatory birds of the eagle kind, refer undoubtedly to Christ and his overcomers, who will come as a swift flying army to war against Antichrist and his armies and destroy them in Armageddon. I can't imagine good people hurting others. I can't imagine that. I think that means they're not going to fight him. That's the guy's footnotes stuff. I don't think they're going to actually fight them and try to hurt them and destroy them. I think that they're going to be kind to them and call out to Jesus in kindness to them. I can't imagine them literally fighting back. But that's what this guy said, but I don't know if that's true or not. And at that time, the sign of the Son of Man will appear in heaven, and then all the tribes of the land will mourn. Wait, let's see what it said. And immediately after the tribulation of those days, the sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give its light, and the stars will fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens will be shaken. Let's read that again. Something's enormous. Okay. I don't understand that about the army and the Navy and the military being a necessary evil, but it has something to do with I don't know what, but I cannot imagine hurting others at all being a part of following the New Testament. That's this guy's notes, okay? I can't imagine hurting anyone being part of the New Testament. It's a sin, but we all sin, and it's inescapable on earth, so we try to sin less. We sin in our own ways as individuals, and immediately after the tribulation of those days, the sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give its light, and the stars will fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens will be shaken. And at that time, the sign of the Son of Man will appear in heaven, and then all the tribes of the land will mourn. You don't look for a sign. The New Testament says, do not ask for a sign. We're not supposed to look for fortune tellers and those false, stuff like that. Just a real prophet who's there to show us by God, including Jesus. And at that time, the Son of Man will appear in heaven. And then all of the tribes of the land will mourn, and they will see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. He'll be in power and glory like never before. He was never in power and glory like that on earth. He suffered for us so we'd be okay, and he was kind to everyone no matter how much they hurt him. Hey, and that's it. That's Matthew chapter 24. Okay. Oh, wait. No. It's not. That is it, but it's not the end of it. There's some more to go. A page. Wow. Let's read through this quick. For at that time there will be great tribulation, and such as wait a second. In power and great glory. Okay, then I turn the page. Okay, the gathering of Israel, and he will send his angels with a loud trumpet call, and they will gather his chosen together. That could be many different things, a trumpet call. From the four winds, from one end of the heavens to the other, concerning the church, watching and being ready. But learn the parable from the fig tree. As soon as its branch has become tender and puts forth its leaves, you know that the summer is near. It describes this here. So also you, when you see all these things, know that it is near at the doors. Truly I say to you that this generation shall by no means pass away until all these things happen. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words shall by no means pass away. But concerning that day, wow, heaven and earth will pass away. That's pretty amazing. One day heaven and earth will not exist, it says. These are all prophecies. Each one of these verses means a huge amount. Just one of these verses here means a lot. And in the other books of me reading the New Testament, and the other videos, I apologize, I get it wrong. In the other videos of me reading the New Testament of Matthew, in these chapters in the Bible, I talk about every verse and describe every verse. But learn the parable from the fig tree. As soon as its branches have become tender and puts forth its leaves, you know that summer is near. The fig tree, signifying the nation of Israel, was cursed in 2119. It passed through a long winter from the 1st century AD to 1948. 1948, when Israel was restored as a nation. Wow, and that was prophesied in the Bible, and it happened. At that time, its branch, or in the New Testament, somewhere in the older New Testament, that's the Bible. At that time, its branch became tender and put forth its leaves. Wow. To the believers, this fig tree is a sign of the end of this age. The branches becoming tender signifies that life has come back. Oh, thank God. Thank goodness. The putting forth of leaves signifies engaging in outward activities. Okay. And all of this means a lot, and I'm not going to talk about it that much. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words shall by no means pass away, but which are in the Bible, in the Bible. But concerning that day and hour, no one knows, not even the angels of the heavens, nor the Son, but the Father only. Capital Father, capital Son, that's Jesus and God. Jesus does not know. Only the Father knows when that day and hour will be. For just as the days of Noah were, so will the coming of the Son of Man be. It'll really happen, like Noah really happened. For it says here in the New Testament, Noah was real. It really happened. And it can be proven. And those people who collect fossil data and carbon dating, those things are often inaccurate and wrong. And you can prove reality as we know it with the New Testament and the Old Testament with scientific evidence for those who know enough about the Bible. And okay, and the other stuff is of the devil. It's wrong ideas. People trying to be Galileo, or some of that kind of makes sense, but some of those people were looking for money and power and being better and bigger than the Bible and God and everything that they think So I don't know why it's annoying me right now, but something has been annoying me when I was filming this video. Someone attacking me or making me feel bad, like I'm trying to look good or something. And it's funny because I'm not showing myself at all, but something's been annoying me at the end of this video the whole time, the entire time. The entire time, trying to mess up the whole thing, work me into anger, see if I'm not as holy or better than them that they think that I'd be better than them. I don't know what it is, something annoying me. That's probably what that is. I don't know. But concerning that day and hour, no one knows, even the angels of the heavens, nor the Son, but the Father only. And I'm a sinner. I mess up. For just as the days of Noah were, so will the Son of Man be. For as they were in those days, so will the coming of the Son of Man be. For as they were in those days before the flood, eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day in which Noah entered into the ark, and they did not know that judgment was coming until the flood came and took all away, so also will the coming of the Son of Man be. At that time 2 men will be in the field, one is taken and one is left. One is taken and one is left. 2 women will be grinding at the mill. One is taken and one is left. Watch therefore, for you do not know on what day your Lord comes. But know this, that if the householder, that's a believer in God and Jesus, that's a believer in God and Jesus, I believe. That's what it means here. The householder had known, but know this, that if the householder had known which watch the thief was coming, he would have watched and would have not allowed his house to be broken into. So it would not have happened, and the beautiful baby would not have been born, meaning Jesus would not have come to earth for the second coming, for heaven on earth for 1,000 years, I believe it says. For this reason you also be ready, because it is at an hour when you do not expect it. The Son of Man is coming. So be ready, it says. Being faithful and prudent. I think it's almost chapter 25. Who then is the faithful and prudent slave whom the master has set over his household to give them food at the proper time? That's a believer in God and Jesus, who's going to get, the master's going to give his household to them and give them food at the proper time. Blessed is that slave whom his master, when he comes, will find so doing. Truly I say to you, blessed is he that will find him doing God's work. Truly I say to you that he will set him over all his possessions. He'll give him his possessions. But if that evil slave says in his heart, my master delays, and begins to beat his fellow slaves, and eats and drinks with the drunken, means does shallow, wrong things that are bad. This is to keep company with worldly people who are drunk with worldly things, that make their life about getting money, looking good, outward, looking good. You can do some of that if as long as it does not hurt anyone, but that's not the whole purpose of it. The purpose is to be kind to others. The master of that slave, the bad one, who drinks with the drunken, meaning people who have the wrong idea of what everything's about, and they're mean to others to make sure they get it. Those are, in their thoughts and actions and intent, some of them lie and try to cover up so they don't get taken to jail, and they try to get more and more, and that's what they make their lives about. Drinking with the drunken, drinks with the drunken, that's what it means. But alcohol is a little different, but it's different. It is different, but alcohol is not the best either. They literally use that as the parable. Jesus used that to describe it, compared it to alcohol. So, but That's something that's different. That does not mean sin, I believe. That's something that maybe we can look into more in this Bible later. The master of that slave will come on a day when he does not expect him, and at an hour which he does not know, and will cut him asunder and appoint his portion with the hypocrites. In that place there will be the weeping and the gnashing of the teeth. That means that will be Gehenna, as described in the Old Testament, which is hell. Hell. Just hell. Ooh, horrible, horrible. That's where they'll all go, to hell. Those people who are mean and bad. And they'll go in there with the bad people in hell. And then it continues to chapter 25. That time the kingdom of the heavens will be likened to 10 virgins who took their lamps forth to meet the bridegroom. Okay, we'll read more about this later, and we'll get to the end of Matthew, which I think is up to chapter 28. Then we'll be done with Matthew, if you want to read more, unless you got a lot from that. Oh, excuse me, I hit the Bible. It's really good. Okay, bye. This is John Birmingham reading from the Bible. Annoying me the whole freaking time like I'm putting an ass forth or something. What the heck is that? So ridiculous. Horrible. Had to feel that way the whole time. I'm not supposed to say anything about it. Bye. Click like in the video if you want. Read more of the Bible. This is not me showing myself. This is the Bible. Okay? This is what's really important. This is the New Testament. Okay, bye.